at play. So you're seeing who? You're seeing Claire. Claire, pregnant but helping. You see who? You see Michael screaming for his son. That's a character trait. He's a good father. Who else? You see Hugo trying to help. Hugo, it's almost character. Hugo is the only one that I like and I don't know much about. So yeah. So this is, we see Claire, we see Boone. Boone, which is one of my favorite characters. Vampire Diary, hello. So it's super cool. Jack does that assessment, and right away by helping, he says himself as a doctor. Why is that important? There is a quality of leadership here. First of all, he's a leader who's also a doctor. He's like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. If I want to help, I have to listen to this guy. If I want to help, I want to follow him. He knows what he's doing. I don't know, I'm going to follow him. You see other characters, and this is a very good way. So for example, here, we're going to read a character called Charlie. So why is Charlie important in this very specific scene? He's standing there and he's not helping, but he survived and he's okay. That means that Charlie, not without wanting to help, wasn't the most helpful. Right away, we got Boone, which is a cool character, is going for Jack and saying, "Yo, you're good. Are you good?" Which is cool because Jack in itself, being a doctor. See, this is a complex part. They're all survivor. Because Jack is a doctor, there's kind of like a hierarchy, right? Right now, our situation, there's a lot of people that are wounded. How do we cure them? How do we help Jack? Jack is the only one that knows what he's doing, right? The whole island becomes the emergency room. Long story short, right? So yeah, so we have him. You can see that himself is wounded. He's wounded, and the only one that cares about him or helps him. See, this is the thing. He's wounded, but he didn't complain about it, so you don't know. The only one to help him is Kate. Kate has got to be my favorite character. She is gorgeous. She is a baddie, and she's super cool. But there's always this case of Kate is possibly not a good person. You know what's insane? Here in this scene. This is so freaking cool. This is so freaking cool. This is gonna be a spoiler. Again, before the show. So Kate sees a bottle of alcohol, and she looks at Jack. Kate is a survivor. You're stuck in a show that's a survivor. Everybody, technically speaking, are nice. Technically speaking, are kind, except for two people in the first season. Now, John possibly established himself as a villain. I don't know yet. It seems to be that way though. The two people that we have to be careful about. Well, they're super easy. The first one is Sawyer. Sawyer, the first thing he does, instead of helping, he what should we call it? He salvage. So everything that's precious, he has it. And if you want it, you have to go through him, and you have to train it. Now, the great thing with Sawyer is that he did a great job. Literally went through bodies in the pocket of the dead to get things that could be useful. So why is that important? Because everything that we have at our disposal is under Sawyer. So one show that really changed my perception of everything was Walking Dead. Walking Dead was the very first series that I watched completely. It's Survivor, but it's also what we're doing. And Alexandria, which is the land of the free, which is the land of the safe, we have a person called, I don't remember her name, sorry. But she's very important. Why is she so important? Well, one that you should ask, because this character is in charge of the inventory. Sawyer, without really being in charge of the inventory, is in charge of the inventory. Let me get something to eat because I'm hungry. This has been a busy day for here, and we haven't stopped. So we're not gonna stop. We had a nice day. Thanks a lot, that's what we usually. So time seems to be running faster. And when I say we haven't stopped, there's possibly time where I stop and I thought it was a small break, but here we are. So Sawyer being there is important, but Sawyer is morally wrong. So for example, Sawyer, most people will hack for the benefit of the island. Sawyer won't. Does that make him a villain? No, because he's a survivor. He's a survivor. See, Sawyer and Kate, both being morally questionable, are the first to think, and this is very important. This is very, very, very important. They're the first people to realize, yo, we're stuck in silent for a while. Let's survive. So Kate, what she does is she saw Jack as a doctor, and she saw that he had alcohol. It's like, okay, well, you took that. You took that from someone. You took it. You stole it. Or worse than that, you have a stash, and you want to keep that stash for yourself. So she knows going to stay on the island. She's judging you. However, Kate isn't a super good character, also because she has done some wrong. Now, the truth of the matter, which is super important, is technically speaking, your past doesn't matter. So even if you're a bad person, like Sawyer, like Kate, again, we don't know if she's a bad person, and we don't know her motivation. Unless she does some things that are questionable, but we don't know for sure. Sawyer does things in the island that is not good, which means that he's kind of a criminal on this island. So here's what happened, and this is again why Walking Dead is so important. We're stuck on an island, right? We're stuck on an island. Stuck on an island. What am I supposed to do? Okay, well, that's a great question. That is a really good question. You should survive, right? Walking Dead, there's an apocalypse. There's a zombie everywhere. What am I supposed to do? Well, great question. What are you supposed to do? You try to survive. See, this is not great. I need this because otherwise the phone is going to overheat. I'm not going to be able to film. The difficulty of a content creator. My life for a freaking not a warm day. This is why winter's gonna be so nice. Then I don't have to worry about that shit, which is great. So in Walking Dead, you survive, right? And then right away, what you do is you're trying to see who's a good guy and who's a bad guy. But before you know, everybody has. For example, you look at the crew of Rick Grimes. Look at Daryl. You look at Merle. They're criminals, but in the apocalypse, they're actually helpful. You look at a person like Shane, who is picture perfect of justice. He becomes a bad guy, right? So with that, you kind of see, okay, well, guess what? You kind of fucked. This is important. This is what we're supposed to do. I have an idea for something else. Should be a good idea. See, variétés Day are like this are great because you don't know how to think, but the idea that you have are great. We see Sawyer, which is also a super important character. Sawyer right away, what he does is he goes to the wreckage, right? We have another character, which is John. John is one of the most important characters on the island. Now, John is extremely, extremely, extremely important here. Extremely important. Why? Because John used to be in a wheelchair. So while everybody else is freaking out, John realizes that his legs are working. So he's having an existential crisis. Now, this is half true, half wrong. Here, at this very second, you're supposed to believe that, okay, well, guess what? John has a problem with his leg, he cannot walk, ergo, he's fucked. He's fucked on this island because imagine surviving without your legs. It'd be very hard. He regained his legs. Holy shit, wow. Now, my first thought, there's something called muscle atrophy, which in this case is extremely important. Again, I'm stating facts, I'm not being a dick. You're gonna see people that are paraplegic. You're gonna see people that are tetraplegic. And this is the four limbs. Their muscle gonna be very small because they don't use them. Because they don't use them, the muscle, you know. I think this is not me saying so. This is my personal opinion. This is what I think. I am not a doctor. Before I say, I think it's kind of cool that the body does that. The body doesn't notice that you're not using this muscle. If you notice that this muscle needs to be fed, the body, your brain is gonna make this muscle shorter. And because this muscle is shorter, it requires less. I think it's great. So Jack, later on, we learn, was able to walk before. He had an operation. I'm not going to spoil it because I'm not going to be able to do it today. I'm going to do it tomorrow possibly. because some of the episodes are very important, some of them are not that important. Um, so yes, because he was able to walk, he has a muscle mass, but also he knows how to walk. It's complex. It's very complex. You see this with patients. And again, I'm not a doctor, so it's hard for me to talk about it. But basically, long story short, you're having patients and they lose the uses of their leg, and then they go to therapy, physiotherapy, where they relearn to walk. So now, this is a super important scene. This is possibly one of the most important scenes in the whole show. Why? Well, in the whole first episode. Because now, you're seeing people relax. So the crash is done. Who needs to be saved was saved, and who couldn't be saved couldn't be saved. So this is very cool because this is the aftermath. So you could consider the plane crash a adrenaline-inducing event. I'm afraid, I'm running on fume, I'm running on adrenaline, I feel like I'm Superman. Okay, I can relax now. Holy fuck, I can relax and I'm stuck on an island. Holy shit, what am I supposed to do? This is what we're seeing right now. So we're seeing people, for example, we see Claire touching her baby. I perceived it as her being worried. You got John, and John here is a very, very precise moment where it's super important. He first wants to relax is actually Sawyer. What Sawyer does, he gets a cigarette and he smokes it. Which is for him, relaxing. Why is John so important? John to me feels like the character next to Jack is the most important one. I don't know why, I just feel that way. John has his feet on the sand. Now, why is his feet on the sand important? Because he doesn't feel his feet. So him feeling his feet on the sand is reproducing the sensation of sand on his feet, which is he's enjoying. Now we have Claire touching her baby. She's pregnant. I perceived as she was worried, and we see Hugo with making a inventory of the food. So Hugo is obese. He's obese. What am I afraid for? He's not there. He's not gonna fuck me up. I'm so sorry, sir. We're gonna pretend he was there. So Hugo was because Louise food's important to him. But he has to do the inventory, and I trust him. Now, this is super fucking nice. This is super fucking nice. And this, I have to say, one of the reasons why I love Saeed. You see, Saeed is such a interesting character in my opinion. Possibly one of my favorite, if not my favorites. Why? Jack is the original leader. He knows what he's doing, he knows how to survive, he seems like to be smart, he seems like he's a good leader. Saeed has leadership ability. Saeed is able to survive. I'm gonna be a dick here. In my opinion, again, we're going back to Walking Dead. I hate this, but I have to. There's the people that can survive, and the people that cannot survive. Saeed is representative of people that could survive on his own. People that could survive on their own, they're very short. They're very small. There's possibly... Even if Jack and Kate aren't a relationship, they're two of the most important people about having leadership capability. Now, what I don't like, honestly, is that Jack is always rough with Kate. Kate, she's like, yo, you don't need to like me, you need to be in a team. Jack is like, yo, I don't know if I can trust you. And she's like, yo, she's the one that helped you the most, bro. She's the one that was there since day one. And this is actually important. Holy shit, I talk a lot. Holy shit. So now we have different relationship. There's another one. So there's Shannon and Boone. This is super cool because we're seeing different survivors, how they react, but also we're seeing solutions. So Kate and Jack are like, hey, what's up? And we got there. We've been there for a while, and they're gonna help us. Now we got Boone and Shannon, and the writing is amazing because we just had Jack say, if they're gonna come to us, they're gonna come soon. Now Boone says, which is Damien and Vampire Diary. Boone comes in and is like, okay, well, I'm not sure if they're gonna come. His sister's like, yo, they were the black box. Black box mean what? They can retrace him. The black box, what they do is sort of a GPS. If I remember correctly, I'm not sure. But that's quite important. Quite important. By saying that, Boone's like, okay, well, we're going to be here for a while. We meet Jin and her. Jean, I don't know her name, I'm so sorry, but Jean and her are super important. And I gotta say, sorry to say, but you weren't important to me. So Jin and his wife are Korean. They don't talk English. Now the truth is, his wife is English. That I knew from years ago. Why is that important? Because they're outsider. Not because of the race, of course, but they don't know the language. Now, Jin is amazing. This is possibly one of my favorite characters also. Super well written. It's like, fuck these people. They don't belong with us. We are our own thing. They don't care about us because they cannot see each other. Then his wife's like, no, they're nice people. They're nice people. Can you give them a chance? And then the first thing he does, which is super fucking important, he does to include himself. Now, the problem with Jin is everybody says, oh, when I say everybody, I'm not talking about the viewer, I'm talking about the island. They're saying, oh, bro, you're in your own. When somebody happens in the camp, you don't care. The first thing he does is what? He fishes. And he brings people sea urchins. Like, yo, hi, it's delicious. There's nothing to talk about, right? So that's pretty much it. Now, the problem with that is holds grudge against herself, which doesn't allow her to be completely healthy. We got Charlie. Now, this is the cool part because we got the very first party. We have Charlie, we have Kate, and we have Jack. Why this is so important is they're going to find out other play. We learn about Charlie using exposition, which is kind of cool, and Kate. This is a cool part too. So Kate being super helpful to Jack is against Moonbeam. Charlie being one of the less helpful but decided to help. There's a really cool part here where she's saying, hey, you heard of me, I'm a famous musician. He's like, no, I don't know who you are. And then Charlie's like, yo, when we get out of here, I'll sign you an autograph. She's like, yeah, that's super cool. This is not her mentality that they're going to survive, you know? This is also important. We got John watching the city. We got a rain. Everybody is hiding in the rain except for John, which is important because he's enjoying himself. But it also pointed out at he's a bit odd. We got Jack, Kate, and Charlie. No, not Charlie. Is it named Charlie? Yeah, the name of the girl is Claire. Of course, Charlie. Charlie's also a girl name, by the way. So we see the first a part of the plane. Now we're looking for other survivor. And this is really cool because they know that there's a black box, there's a transmitter. Like, yo, if we can be saved, we're gonna be able to be saved. Now, in my opinion, the first episode is a bit of there's a mistake pacing. Now we need the pilot. The pilot is super important. First of all, very famous actor, which is weird because we're only using him once. The pilot says, hey, so Jack is like, yo, how about a transmitter? He said, we tried, it's not working. And then again, we remember the black box, which is a log. So they know what you're going. I said, no, because we were flying, I don't remember what happened, but they changed course, they changed direction. And because of that, they're looking in the wrong places. The pilot's like, yo, we're fucked, which is also kind of important. So now we have, that's pretty much it. We have Claire, we have Kate with a, wait a second. I don't remember that part. There's, again, the scary sound of the forest. And the scary sound of the forest, they say there's a monster, we don't see monster. I don't know if they're going crazy or what. There is detecting Charlie. They also find the second pilot. This Charlie, the reason why he's going in is because Charlie is a junkie. He's in the second episode. But yeah, pretty solid first episode. So at the end, we kind of skipped it a little bit because it's not that important. They go in to see the pilot, it's like, the pilot's like, oh, fuck. The whole thing is kind of pointless versus the survival, which is also important. So for the first episode, it took me 45 minutes. The episode is 45 minutes, which means that this is going to take me for 88 hours. Which means what? Get high. Get high. Thursday on my mind. Blink shabang. Welcome to the show because I'm doing well because I'm having a wonderful day on this 28 July 2025. Pretty busy day, pretty cool day. We're gonna see the sunset. Sunset is pretty disappointing. However, we're gonna make the most out of it. So you're gonna hear me babble and babble and babble. But for some reason you're kind of used to me babbling. Is that a word? No? You have to complex with your words. But I got a Banks place, baby. And I'll write your name. If it's torture, don't say I didn't want you. We're young and we're reckless. Welcome to the show. Because the world says I'm having a wonderful day on this glorious day of the Lord. I said 28 July 2025. You're kind of tired. Got a big day and it's starting. So let's get this show on the freaking road. You see after the sunset behind me, which is kind of caca, but hey, this isn't the first caca weather we had, so we are pretty used to caca, which makes us a pro at cac. Today we have a couple of videos, so let's go with the first one, and it's my love of recap, my love of podcast, but it's very specific kind of podcast. This is why I review shows, this is why I recap show, this is why it's fun. So it all started back in 2014. So this is going to be a long video, so prep yourself, grab a drink, grab your most comfortable seats, and let's have some fun. So I start with the agency, which were 11 years later and it didn't change. We're starting with the agency, and quickly I'm learning that, okay, well, guess what? Those aren't your core worker, because every couple of weeks you're switched up, right? Every couple of weeks we are going some places, some other places. It's quite complex. The weather is nice, guys. There's this little breeze. It's really nice. And then, what was I saying? Fuck. Today ADHD is bad, I'm telling you. To start listening to a lot of things. Now, because we're always on the road, I start places like McDonald's for the Wi-Fi. Then I realized just how much show we're missing. And then I discovered some podcasts. I have to say, Bald Move was the way to go for me. Bald Move. I don't remember specifically if that's the name of the show. It was a... Oh my god. I'm fucked. Didn't charge. And god damn it. Sorry guys, my tablet didn't charge. Why did you need the tablet? Well, because we're streaming a game currently. Here, here, and here. So I need all three of them. However, it's cool because I only have an hour of content to do so. Even though it's not gonna charge plentifully. It's gonna charge. So like I was saying, ball moves was my go-to. See, what's crazy is back then, we didn't have the law protection for intellectual content. For example, I was able to get all first 13 chapters of Walking Dead for free, right? So I was looking at Walking Dead, I was hearing about Game of Thrones, I was able to get a PDF for Game of Thrones. One show I wasn't able to get, and that show was Breaking Bad. And I was like, holy shit, because there's no written source. Walking Dead is a comic, first of all. Oh, man, these was the days. Oh, I miss that time. Game of Thrones had a book. So then you met Aaron and Paul, if I remember correctly. Guys, it's been 10 years, so give me a chance. And no, I don't prepare my videos because this is us talking. When you talk to someone, do you prepare your talks with them? No? Cool. Cool. Me neither. So it was just two dudes, and most of the time, one of them was more knowledgeable. So he actually read the material, so that was kind of cool. And the other one came in with a fresh start, with a fresh point of view, like I don't know what's going to happen, which is kind of cool. On a show like Game of Thrones, very important because one of them knew what was going to happen. We're just waiting to see it executed. On a show like Walking Dead, where you don't follow the manga at all, or the comics, I'm sorry, manga, it is a bit less important because, like, okay, well, even if I know the source material, they're not going to follow. So I used to watch this, and why it was such a good show is because I was a guy with no Wi-Fi, with no cable TV, okay? So I was able to read, I was able to emulate games, listen to radio, but all of the rest, not so much. And it was just nice because I was like, well, I kind of have a way to watch them, kind of have a way to listen to them. Now, what I like about Bowel Move was that they didn't really just watch a show. They didn't really just watch a show. Now, the reason why we're talking about this was my entry in the world of review, which is kind of cool. To me, I didn't know what the deep dive was. Once again, I didn't have Wi-Fi, so I didn't do a lot of YouTube. I didn't watch a lot of YouTube. So this was my very first experience. Also, the coolest thing ever is that I had an iPod. So my father wanted me to buy an iPod Touch. Why? Because we wanted to what do you call it? To FaceTime me. Now, the truth, I was younger. I was 22, 21 at that age, and couldn't say no. I had a hard time saying no. I was very submissive, very shy. No, not even my father. I said no. Now I just say no. Fuck you. I'm not gonna do it. But back then, I wouldn't say no. So my father's like, hey, I want you to buy a iPod Touch. You will be able to talk and have Wi-Fi. Which he didn't think. Most of my phones were Android, so I couldn't transfer file, I couldn't do anything with it. And the iPod, I couldn't download movie or audio with it. I couldn't download shit. So what I did with the iPod, and the iPod Touch was 32 gigs. 32 gigs. And you know what I did with the iPod? It was something called, I think it was iPodcast, something like that. It was on iTunes. And I used to download all of the podcasts. So I had 32 gigs of just podcasts. It was Walking Dead. It was Trailer Park Boys. Holy shit, Trailer Park Boys. Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. And this is why I got into podcasts, because I had a iPod Touch that I couldn't really use except for podcasts. So I would come in events of the show, so you really felt like watching the show. Now, in my opinion, why this was so good is it was a watch along. So, hey, did you watch the show? we're gonna spoil it for you. You watch the show. You remember when this happened? This is what we thought about it, and I really like that. And this is why when we go in, we don't just do a review. Now, if it's a movie, I'll do a review. If it's a series, I'll do a review and a recap. So these guys were really behind it, and it's just the reason as to why I love doing recaps. Giving your opinion is having a talk with people. Like right now, a lot of people do it. So there's these guys that are reviewing comics, these guys that are reviewing manga. There's a dozen. There's these guy that goes in to react to shit. The Try guy, that was basically the whole thing behind it. There's literal empire behind it, and I just think that this is something that was pioneered by the two guys. And at the same time, this was before podcast became really popular. So what was cool with it is two random guys would actually make something out of themselves. They didn't have a production company, which they didn't need, and I just miss those days. I just miss it a lot. So this is why we're doing the recap the way we do it. I know that some of you guys will see a review, but I think because, for example, right now we're watching Lost. I think it would be boring if I came in and say, oh well, you know what, this episode this week was good. I said, it's gonna be boring. Anyway, just wanted to come on here. Shout out to the guys, the blueprints. So I am doing the review the way I'm doing it. Kind of like a genesis, but kind of the lore behind the idea, behind the context. So that's pretty much it. Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Don't blink, it's your buying. Welcome to the show. I'm doing well because I'm having a wonderful day on this. This chair's making up a noise. Holy shit! On this 28th July 2025, they were talking about Walking Dead again, and this is part 2 of how it changed everything. So you guys know that this sort of theory changed, I think, for me, the way I view things. Even the comic in itself made me ask myself questions like, what would I do? Would I kill somebody to sacrifice somebody to save myself? You know, would I do the moral thing? What was moral? What was the good and evil? And then did I have a chance? Did I have a choice if I did the good thing? You know, so all of these things for me were quite important, and this is why we start talking about Walking Dead. Now, the most insane thing is, nowadays you guys know that cable TV doesn't do it anymore. Most show on Netflix are TV series, right? And right now what we're doing is we're watching Lost. Lost is a great show. In Lost, I'm in heaven because it's a great show. There's a lot of content. I get to recap it. I get to review it. So I'm quite excited about that. However, it's not only like, hey, I thought about it. It's, you know what? I saw Walking Dead. This is how I felt. And it's weird to me because Walking Dead was a, for example, today we did a review, right? And it was about the people that are falling from a plane and on a desert island. The principle of survival was there. Okay, we used the moral choice. So, for example, a character like Sawyer keeping the medicine from everybody, just like the savior. And it just blew my mind how much I was comparing it to Walking Dead. And possibly Walking Dead was part of the genesis. I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue why it's such an important show for me. But at the same time, knowing that this is such an important show, there's a reason for it. Maybe because it's applied in a lot of cases, you know? I mean, a show like Lost, which is pretty unique. But then again, if you watch a show like Sopranos, which were kind of the era at the same time, there's just a lot of comparison to be made between Lost and Sopranos. I don't know. I have no clue. There are a lot of comparison to be made in between Lost and Walking Dead. You would think not, but there is, which is kind of weird in itself. But at the same time, if that's what it is, that's what it is. To me, it's such a beautiful thing because knowing that a show directly impacts your critical point of view is amazing. It's amazing. The show Lost, I am so excited. I am so excited because I'm going to repeat myself, but I've never watched it. I have never watched it. So I come in and I'm like, holy shit, what's going to happen? Holy shit, what's going on? And then I'm in a second position where I'm like, holy shit, this is what I would do, right? Because I think you put yourself in shows like that, you put yourself in character's shoes, what I would do. This is my strategy. If I was stuck on an island, this is what I would decide. This is who I would follow. This is who I would be loyal to. Is Jack an asshole? Is John an asshole? Is Sawyer a good guy? Is Kate a good guy? There's so many questions, right? But yeah, to me, it's an amazing thing. And what I'm trying to say with this video, because it's a bit weird video, right? I've always seen this is kind of like a very negative thing, but at the same time, it feels so good. You always see people that are moving film, and in case you're going, welcome to Commentary Show. This is doing well because I'm having a wonderful day. Here is the nature corn of the 28th July 2025. 22 degrees outside. It's gonna be warm as fuck, so there's gonna be a bunch of small videos. Okay. So we bought it in July. I should have bought it in April, and then it was a problem. Still fix it. Now I'm in the best part of the season, and I'm like, oh shit, I have to do it right here, right now. So it's kind of like a big deal, but hey. So yeah, that's pretty much the video. Every single video today, something like that. I'm gonna be confused. But that's our reality. That's our dealing with mental issues. So that's okay. Don't blink, it's your boy Yang. Welcome to Local Player Show. It's doing well. You guys are having a wonderful day on this 28th July 2025. Today we're having a wonderful day. It is warm AF outside. Yeah, I have no idea just how warm it is. They had actually a very positive video on this July. I just did some video about bike, right? And this is the more physical aspect of it. But then, you know what? I'm gonna do this video. I'm gonna do it for both channels. It's gonna be positive. It's gonna be negative. Let's get the positive out of the window. Lately, I've been really into gaming. I have restarted wanting to game. I've been playing a lot of Gundam, which is amazing. I've been playing a lot of oh, I got text. The text or the text. Fuck it. I've been getting a lot of text lately because I'm single and I'm ready to mingle, so you know I'm putting myself out there. How can I say that? What am I talking about? Yeah, I've been gaming a lot more. For example, with the Elden Ring, right? I was supposed to start a new game, which is Speedrun yesterday. But then I realized just how little I had to do on Elden Ring. I have about 20 hours left, and that's not speedrunning it. With speedrunning it, it's going to take so much less time. And we're doing a strength-based playthrough. So of course we're stronger, but at the same time, it's strength stronger. It's going to be super easy. I'm going to be finishing the game this week. This week, I started in, I want to say possibly June. It took me 2 months to beat it. It's 70 hours. Yesterday and today, so God, the 2 days I played 10 hours of streaming, which is, I usually stream a lot less. So that's actually pretty good. And I'm really feeling like gaming again, which is great. I'm excited for Hero Land. I'm excited for all the game. We did delete a couple of mobile games yesterday because I was like, fuck that. However, I got some great news. What are those great news? Well, those great news in itself are the fact that I'm possibly going to be finishing Elden Ring this week. So I wasn't sure. Yesterday we made a video about, hey, I'm going to be starting this game. Sorry, today is about ADHD day, so I have a harder time focusing. I have a harder time doing things, but it's okay. So I was supposed to start Evil Land yesterday, but I'm like, fuck, I can finish the game this week. Then we finished Elden Ring. I never finished it in July. Never. Well, that's the thing. Today is the 28th of July. We are a mountain top of giants. So I don't know. I'm not gonna talk a lot about it, but basically we have a whole region left. We have a second small region. We have a third region. We have another small region. So let's just say that we have 3 full regions left. And then I have the DLC, which is the 4th region. Now, the craziest thing, that's the craziest thing, okay? When you look at what I've done Leyndell, I've done Lindgren, I've done Yurna, and Kylan. That's 4 region. So we did more than 4 region because we did a bunch of side quests, we did a bunch of side content. And Leyndell is a lot bigger than Mountain of Giants. So it took me 70 hours. I possibly have 50 hours left. With DLC included. 50 hours left. It's 10 days. So I'm going to be finishing in the month of August. I usually finish the game in October. That's huge. Because it means that till next of May, I can play other games. However, the bad points, we talk about bad points. Bad points, there it is. It's more so in real life. So right now it's summer. Right now is the time to go out. Right now is the time to do content outdoors. Right now is the time to have fun. But I feel like video games. And in the winter, I'm going to be stuck. So this is a bit worrying. This is very worrying. I don't know how I'm going to deal with it. I don't know how I'm going to deal with the fact that, for example, we did a video 2 days ago, which was a good ADHD day. And the video that we did was about how we're going to be able to, have some content in the summer. We're going to be able to get some content in the winter. Now, both of those are super different. But what I didn't think about is my brain knows what to do. Maybe my heart wants to play a game, you know? I don't know. I've been falling in love back with gaming, which hasn't happened in like a year. I was watching this streamer, which is, again, DSD. I'm watching the Detractor. And the Detractor's like, yo, this guy's falling out of love with gaming. And I'm like, holy shit, is this the image I give a streamer that don't care about gaming? Possibly. Elden Ring playthrough right now is sucky because it's so easy. However, we did a couple of boss yesterday. And when I say a couple of boss, I mean 2. I mean 2. And those 2 bosses were fun. You know what I mean? Today, I'm going to be streaming for 5 hours on Elden Ring. And streaming for 5 hours is going to mean one thing. You know what that means? Do you know what that means? It just means that we're going to be able to have a shit ton of fun. And I'm excited because now it's becoming harder again. Now, the DLC is possibly the hardest area, so I'm going to wait till the very end. But at the same time, you know, it's a bit more complex. Yeah, it's also for gaming, but other than I really took my... I'll make another video about it. Yeah, so it's tough. I want to go out. I want to do some bike. I want to socialize. I want to go to restaurants. But then there's a part of me that's like, yo, you want a game? Like adventurous. Because maybe in a year you'll fall out of love with gaming. In a year, the plan is what? In a year, the plan is to buy another. Because when I have is shit. It's to buy another emulator. I'm going to be able to play games, old school game, and I'm going to start doing a retro in the winter. Could be cool. Anyway, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Don't blink if you blink. Welcome to the commercial. I'm doing more because I'm having a wonderful day on this pretty age July 2025. Visit my mosquito. Your boy is Toast. This is about an ADHD day, so if this video is weird, you're gonna know why. But today we're talking about Elden Ring. So yesterday, not 2 days ago, yesterday I came in and I was like, hey, for Elden Ring, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It feels like boring. So I want to do something else. I want to go in and be like, yo, let's do another playthrough, which is Hero Land. However, yesterday we did some big strides. What were the big strides? The big stride we did was we finished the Capsule of Lindell. We finished this, the underground. We finished 2 of the caves of the Snowland, Mountain of Giant, which is huge. So I might be doing the Mountain of Giants. Mountain of Giants, in my opinion, is possibly as big as Kylo, which we did in 15 hours. Then I was faced with 2 situations. So why did I want to play Hero Land? Because I was frankly bored with Elden Ring. I was bored. I was like, dude, this is not cool. Dude, this is not enough. Dude, I want to do something else. And that was the plan. That was the actual plan. However, we're doing so well. Again, I'm going to repeat myself, but we're at 80 hours. And we only have Mountain Top of Giants. We only have... By the way, my playthroughs are usually 120 hours. And they don't include the DLC, so, you know. So we have what left? Mountain Top of Giants. I'm finishing it with you tonight. We have Secret Mountain of Giants. We'll be finishing tomorrow. I have the Mug Palace, which is going to be super important. I'm going to have Burning the Earth Tree. Now, I have a small plan for you guys. the small plan for you guys is very, very simple. We're gonna be burning the Earth tree for sure. Then I'm gonna do the Fazal Hatsu, which is again the place and the mountain, and then when I'm gonna come back to the Castle of Ashes, what I'll do is I'll do the DLC then. Reason as to being, the world of Elden Ring lose all its charm when you burn the Earth tree. So I want to come back into this Shadow Realm, and then what we'll do is at the end, we'll beat the boss. We'll beat the boss now, because the Castle of Ashes, it's an hour to do. It's an hour and a half. So what you have to do is you have to do a little bit of Castle of Ashes, and then when you're done, you're I know my shit, huh? When you're done, you're no, I don't know my shit. That's a problem. You do a little bit of the Castle of Ashes, then you're gonna go do Orak Loops, and then you're at Radagon and the Elden Beast. There's two ways we can go about it. I could possibly do the because I know that the ending boss of DLC is harder than the Elden Beast. So what I'm worried about is that we're gonna have such a good time. It'll be so freaking easy to finish that I'm not gonna be able to do shit. So I might be doing both. I don't know yet. I don't know. I might be finishing the game and then doing the DLC. Would you guys like that? I think finishing the game would be better. Now I'm changing my mind because we're gonna be done with the content we already did. The picture is boring because I did this 4 times. Lately, and I swear to God, this is true. Lately, I've been able to tell you where is what. Oh, it's gonna be an enemy here. Oh, this is what we're gonna get. I'll remember, which is not good. So I think I'm gonna finish the game with all the content that we know, and then we're gonna do the DLC. Now, I was supposed to take a break, but we're just such a good pace right now that I want to finish it. So there you go. That's pretty much it. Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Don't blink, you're playing. Welcome to the show. I think we hope you're having a wonderful day on this glorious 28th July 2025. Just wanted to do a short video to do a shout out to the writer of Soul Leveling. Soul Leveling finished a while ago. People are loving Soul Leveling, but the manhwa is finished. Now, for people that don't know, Soul Leveling has a sequel, which is Ragnarok. Ragnarok finished last week. So, sure to come on here and say congrats to the mangaka who wrote Ragnarok. And Soul Leveling, first of all, super talented. Second of all, he didn't chase money. He wanted to do something short, he did something short. A lot of people, what they do is they're supposed to finish short, and they don't finish short, aka Bleach, aka Naruto. Yeah, so in my opinion, he did the right thing. In my opinion, I haven't even touched Ragnarok, but now that it's finished, I'm gonna be able to read both Soul Leveling and Ragnarok. So, super excited, maybe my next recap, who knows. And that's pretty much it. Anyway, I love you guys, take it easy. Don't blink, it's your boy, Nico Show. As we want to having a wonderful day on this 28th July. 12 is 11th season of the episode, which is 113. Yeah. No. It's 141. 143. Around an hour. That's a long time. Yeah. Yesterday we checked. Lost is 88 hours. It's not bad. Anyway. I'm nervous, but I'm gonna start right now, so wish me luck. Don't blink, it's your boy Yink. Welcome to the show. As I hope you're having a wonderful day. I had to come here to admit that I just lied. We just finished making a video for Elden Ring and why I wanted to keep playing it, the plan, why I wanted to do it. There was a bit of a lie in there. I feel bad about lying, so I want to rectify my things. I am sorry. The reason also why we're saying Elden Ring does not really have a story. It has a story, but there's 13 hours possibly of story out of 120. So it's not that much. The reason also why we are playing Elden Ring is because I want to watch Lost. Lost is the show that I care about. Lost is the show that's leaving Netflix in 16 days, and I want to do a recap of it. So there's definitely that. The more we play Elden Ring, the more I get to watch Lost. I watch during playing. So yeah, so this is a huge deal. So I'm sorry I lied. I'm truly sorry I lied. But I wanted to come in again, say hey, I'm sorry guys. Um, Loss is important. Loss is important. I have to make choices for the gaming channel. I also have to make choices for the normal channel. So that is pretty much it. So hear me out. This is it. I'm sorry. Like, is it the first time I'm lying to you guys? No, of course not. But I really felt bad because it's a stupid lie. I'm not doing it to protect anybody. I'm not doing it. I'm doing it because for selfish reasons. And it's just that I want to watch a show. That's so bad. I don't know. Okay, good. I look around me, and all I seem to see people going nowhere, expecting something. Life is what I've been. But that won't happen to me. No, you're not gonna make it out this guy. Procrastination, running circles in my head. Constant motivated, they want the best bread. Come on, you're another day. Another casual day. No, that won't happen to me. Shit. When I'm gone, whoa, 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 won't look back. I said goodbye, guy. Don't blink, it's your boy. Yeah. Welcome to the show. Considering welcome to having a wonderful day on this 28th July 2025. We are going to be starting in a few seconds. Mix sour slurp. That is sponsored, but still. Product that I do like. We're going to be starting, and not too long, a recap review of Lost. So before we start, I did the video saying how nervous I was because this is such an important show. This is still AL as one of the best show in TV history. And I know it's an old show. I know it's very old. See, it's about ADHD day. We're putting caps over things that don't need caps, and I'm putting things on things that are not belong there. Bad ADHD day. So you see, we put a scoop, and I forgot to put it back. Before we start with this part one, because I already did how I feel about it. I'm asking you guys a favor, okay? I want you guys to do me a favor, and I'm not asking for a lot. I'm asking for something that's actually pretty human. And I shouldn't ask something before we start, but people won't watch if I finish the video because it's gonna be a 40 minutes, 45 minutes video. I'm asking you guys nicely, don't spoil, okay? I haven't watched the show. I haven't watched the show. Last time, I haven't watched the show. Don't spoil. I know it's an old show. Please don't spoil. Okay? I got. Also, before we start, I have to make some specification. This is a recap. It's gonna be my biggest recap ever. we're talking about 88 hours of content. By the way, it's more than that. No, it's that. It's 3 days. It's 88 hours of binge watch. So good. I talk a lot. You may have noticed. So I am gonna take possibly 180 hours. Now the show is getting Netflix on the 14th of August, so it's gonna be hard, but hey, I'm ready. Each challenge ever. Let's fucking go. Yeah, I feel like we're good. I feel like we're really good. So without further ado, let's start. Now we're gonna be starting with episode number 1. What do I have here? That's actually a good question. We have my computer. I am a visual learner. Okay. So the reason why I'm specifying that, because I feel like it's important, is I'm gonna be watching the show with you guys. Now, not watching the show, but watching episode or scene. That way, I'm gonna be able to say, okay, well, this happened, this happened, this happened.